Sunday morning, January the 2nd, 2021. We've got Larry and Snake Eyes lagging off, and this race to 200. This, I think it's a third round match in the BP4 2020 Straight Pool World Championships. So Larry has won the lag, and he stuck Snake Eyes into break, and the ball has been exposed, so Larry straight away has a chance to get some points on the board. And it's bloody freezing outside. It's been another cold night. I haven't got the heating on in the house yet, so I'm beginning to feel the bite of the chill.
Steve 1158. Just me then.
Yeah.
Stevik 1158. You muted Mick.
I've done it again, haven't I? Good morning. Yeah. What I was saying is, we're just having a look down to see. This is what happens when you're half asleep in the morning. We've got this match here. We've got Keith and Cobra still to arrange a match. They're running out of time. We've got another winner's side match later on today. That's between Bankster and Hazard, and that's at 5 p.m. And that might well, depending on how good these guys end up potting balls, that might well overlap, because we also have well, there's two one-loss side matches, I think, in the schedule. This one I'm not going to be able to get. That's between Bedhead and Chris, because that is on January the 4th. It's starting at 9 PM. I'll be long gone by then because I'm back at work. So that one, we won't be able to see that, or at least you can see it if you want to join the room. And then further
Master
down...
Power. Hugh, if you're talking BS, we can't hear you.
I'm talking now. I've got it switched on. You need to go onto Twitch, because the lag on YouTube's a lot longer than what it is for Mark.
1158. Sorted.
And then we've got LS3 at 7 PM tonight in the one loss side against Mr. Fox. So hopefully I'll be able to get that match in, because once again it's early to bed, early to rise, up at 2:30 AM. So Larry's progressed to 7 so far. Yeah, you need to move over to Twitch, Stub. You're lagging behind. I've done the same thing again. I muted my mic and then I've totally forgotten I've muted it. But as I say, I'm only partially awake. So Larry's got his break ball, and he wants to roll through off this 4 so that he's pretty straight onto the 11 into the left middle. That's the plan. And the straighter he can get this, the easier it is to control that cue ball and give him a good line. So he wants to just more or less kill it or come back an inch. He's killed it stone dead, so it's all about the pot. We know the score. The cue ball's got to hit the pack. And well, Larry's got to drive the point home that if Snake Eyes is going to make mistakes like that, Larry's got to punish them. Larry's highest run in the tournament is only 40, which doesn't make the grade as far as the top 10 goes. So he's got to put something together. Not only to let his opponent know that he's here to compete, but to let those other guys in the top 10 know that he can put something together. Semi-Pro's the one that's shown the most consistency. He certainly did in his match against Wanwa. Some fairly good contributions were enough to give him a comfortable win. I was actually saying when I was muted as well, Stubber was talking about my plan to do Friday Night 9 Ball last night, and then of course Semi-Pro's match got arranged, so that scuppered the schedule up. And then I actually said that you deserved to win that tournament last night. I thought you did well, taking out Larry and Cobra, Larry twice. And then it was a, what match was that? Was it the Cobra match? Yes, it was. It was a Cobra match where
Stevik 1158. Did you win, Stub?
Yeah, he made Cobra started making stupid mistakes after having a good lead. I think he was like 6-3 up or something, and let Stub back into it, and he pinched it. So Larry's now got the ball up table. He's got the potential break ball, the 2 ball, so he's really got to come down left hand side here, or a little draw up. He needs to be careful though, the angle that he's got. If he gets this draw wrong, is he going to go the rail? No, he's just rolling it. That was the safest route. Now if he's slightly inside, which he is, he's slightly inside the 2, he's got a wee bit of an angle but not a lot. He might just want to kind of kill it if he can, to leave him on that 1 or the 15. Now the braver shot would be the 15, because that would then just nudge the 4, because it's a problem ball. If he nudges the 15 and the 4, he might also get away with it. But of course he doesn't want to do anything that's going to move that 2 ball, so he can drop the 14 in, pot the 4, and if he gets this side of that 15, he needs to land good on this 15 ball, because that's critical in keeping the run going, unless he wants to drop behind the 5, but he has to do it one way or the other to take care of this problem here. So he won't be coming back the way, I don't think. He's just going to drop through. Oh, he's trying to break them, and it's all gone wrong, although he's got a dodgy 15 ball and a just as dodgy 5 ball, so he's in trouble. Now, what's he looking at? The cut up the table. Well, that's going to kill the break ball. And he's way off. So Larry's run is stifled at 22, all because that problem was lying there. And well, it could and should have been a lot more. Just 22, and it looks like Snake Eyes is going to have to play the combo, and he's got a good angle in the 3 just to stun up the table up by the middle pocket to play this combo. It's not set, but it's easy enough to make, and then he'll have the trouble of trying to find a way to continue it. Yeah, Stubb won the final. I think Stubb's fallen asleep already. He's generally, oh, he's going to go too far, is he? Yeah, he's gone too far, too much juice. You know, he can call the bank on the 15, the reverse bank. He's going to knock the 5 up the table. Yeah, Stubb's usually good for a couple of sentences, and then he goes back into his hole. Or maybe he's moving, maybe he's switching over to Twitch to keep up to speed. Well, he's called the 5.
Stevik 1158. Is that a Zippo, Hugh?
Well, it's one of those. I think got them in the Tesco, the £1 section. There's a £1 section with little things, you know, like you know, things for hanging up pictures and all of that stuff, and they do a pack of lighters. If you go to the cigarette counter and you buy lighters, you only get 3 and you pay £2 odd, or nearly £3. But if you go to the £1 section, they'd a pack of 5 lighters for £1. Can't beat that for a bargain. Plus my discount. Oh, tell a lie, you don't get that with cigarettes and fags, I forgot. But anyway, a pound's a lot less than £2 odd, so naturally a Scotsman's drawn to that. Well, this is going to end up nowhere. And it's only well, what did he end up getting? Nothing. Just 3 points on the board for Snake Eyes. Now Larry can just feather the 15 and head up table. He's just heading over the other side, trying to get into the pack. And now Snake Eyes is going to have to go behind the pack, as long as that 15 stays out there. So we're going to get a bit of tactical stuff here. and he gets a ball to a rail. So he can skim off the 7 and he can run back along this bottom rail here if he wants to, or he can stun the 7 and just lock to the 8. But this safety exchange won't last that long, especially if balls end up going up the table, because sooner or later something's going to be exposed, and there'll be a fair few points to be had as well, whoever gets in. So 7 ball down the table, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, good half a dozen balls or more to be scoring off. And these safety exchanges here, this is all about who's got the best touch to find that path to block the balls, and that's a weak one from Snake Eyes. Well, Snake Eyes has just turned up to start the match. He might have been better turning up an hour before it and finding his legs.
Glory Victis. That was Larry.
Oh dear, I'm looking at the wrong person again. Well, Larry's touch, Larry was practicing, I have to say. He was in for about half an hour.
I told Larry he needs to fire up to win something big. Maybe he will fire up some K.
Well, he won't if he does shots like that. I blame the mouse. Right, so it's definitely Snake Eyes at the table now, so Larry might well see his slender lead disappear. I thought it was Snake Eyes at the table. I'll wake up soon enough, probably at the end of the match, because I haven't had anything yet. I haven't had a coffee. I haven't had that caffeine kick. And here's the chance to deal with the cluster. It's a good break ball, but it's also a ball he has to take to open these up. And that little touch.
Stevik 1158. On my second bouquet.
I set my alarm clock for 7:30, but I was already awake at 7, so I knocked that in the head. So everything is on. There's also, I think the 6 ball will do, so he can work around it, and everything's available. He's also, well, when I say an adjacent ball, I mean he's got the 7 up the table to get good in the 6.
Glory
so
Victis.
It could be that plan.
Who did you make favourite for this one?
Well, Snake Eyes is the one who's got the biggest high run. He had the high run initially before LS3 took it over. I can't remember what it is, but it certainly was it about 70 odd, 80 odd, or 89 maybe it was. And so going by that, Snake Eyes is a favourite, and Snake Eyes is even more favourite after that poor safety by Larry.
Master Power. No favourite, hard to say.
But I mean, both of them are capable of putting points together, there's no doubt about that. So it is going to come down to who makes the least mistakes at the end of the day, and who can take advantage and construct something decent. Something decent needs to go in to add the pressure, because that then opens the match up. So I've decided it's going to be the 6 ball. He's knocked a 1 into play. It could also be that, so he's now got a choice. So if he gets out of line, he'll have a backup ball. He could, the simple shot is just to go through and up and get rid of the 2, and then make that choice whether it's going to be the 1 or the 6. So the 10 ball, then the 2 ball should be next, unless he wants to take one of those potential break balls, because we know obviously one has to go, and then how's he going to get there? The 7's going to remain there by the looks of it. So if he was playing for the 2, he's gone too far, so he's now contemplating how he's going to leave this break ball. Now, I would have played for the 2 simply because the 2 is still stuck in the triangle, so it's absolutely no use where it is. And he's going to get rid of it now. And now, from this position, this is not easy to get good in the 7. It's all about controlling this pace so that he can be pretty much staring down the line on this 7 ball so he can get good on the 1. So it's not a given that he's going to get good here. Could have done with a wee bit more. He's got a wee bit angle on the 7. So he wants to go to the right, and if he can get parallel with this 1 ball, that would be ideal, and get my little doodle to work like that. See, he's going from this side. Let's have a look at what that's like. Well, if he stuns it hard with the amp on, he's certainly going to hit the corner ball. And he's drawn it and stunned it, and I think he's going to struggle here. Can he get enough of that 5 ball? I don't think he can, and he's got nothing. And I think he put too much
Glory Victis.
Too much bottom on that.
In off the 12.
Well, he's going to have to do that. He's going to have to be creative. I mean, that in off the 12 isn't difficult, but that's what you're going to have to do, is be creative. So he has to cut that so that he gets the edge of the 12. Let's have a look. So the billiard combo is what he's wanting here, or the cannon combo, whatever way you want to describe it, because he can't get to the 5 direct, and he's played it well. And he's also now on the 11, he's got the 7, and once again, if he can get a good angle on this 7, he could get into the bunch. And I think he's gone too far.
Master Power. 5 off the 12.
Oh, you're way behind, Stub. Get yourself over to Twitch and then just type in 9ball.com and that'll take you to my channel, and then you can keep up to speed, because you're about by the looks of it 35 seconds behind. So here we go, 14 ball for the break to open up the bunch. The run goes to 17. Well, it's opened a few, but there's still those 4 balls remaining. So already this match is 25 minutes old and there's not even 50 points scored yet, so we might be here for the long haul, guys. Another opportunity here to fall square on the 10 ball If you can get sort of there on the 10 ball, something like that. I don't think I'm square enough, but something along those lines is an opportunity to
Power.
knock those
Twitch
balls out of the
lags
way.
bad. Can't till try again though.
Twitch lags bad. Twitch is far more stable, I think, than YouTube is a lot of the time, and certainly as far as the speed of the speed of what I'm watching to what you end up seeing.
1158. Agreed.
So Snake Eyes on a run of 20 from Larry's poor safety, and as always the question is how much damage is going to be inflicted by this visit from Snake Eyes. So it looks like everything is almost available. The 3 ball is, well, it's fine if you drop below the 3 ball because you can then play it up the table. And now he's got the perfect angle on the 8 just to run through and brush onto them, and that'll open everything up, and he's still got a shot on the 10. And there is also the break ball there, the 3 balls in play. It's right at the corner of the pack. Not perfect, but it'll do. So Snake Eyes into the lead. The run goes to 24. And it's gone wrong big time. That's a disaster. How did he end up there? And Larry's been let off the hook. I mean, you've got to, you're trying to get onto the 9 ball, and how he ended up there I don't know, because the pace he played it at, he was never going to get anywhere near the 9. And the run ends on 27, so Larry's relieved at that. The damage has been an awful lot less than it possibly could have been, but Larry's going to have to be creative as well here, because if he takes the 9, he's going to have to use the rail, cut that 3 ball to create the angle to try and get enough momentum in the cue ball to get anywhere near the pack. If he's going to play the 3, he has to get into the middle of the table and leave the high cut on this 9 to try and bring the cue ball off that rail into the pack like that. And I don't know whether he can get it direct. He might just end up going off that side rail, the near side rail, then over to this side rail near us, and then just into the side of the pack. He probably won't have enough in it to bring much out here. He's got to force this. Oh, he's managed to get it first time. I didn't think he had enough to get there, but he's brought one out and he's got a shot. It's a bit misleading when you're looking at it. You don't think there's enough angle there to get that pack first time, but he just caught the top, and that's all that matters. I think the one thing that gave him a chance there was actually he didn't feel he had to slam the ball, and that gave it a chance of hitting the pack first time. So he's on the 8. Well, he's on the 3 as well. Oh, but Larry, you can't miss those. Got to take your medicine. And the visit is only 2. And Snake Eyes is back in. He's got the 8, he's got the 3, he's got the 14. What's he got now? Because that hasn't worked out. He can just get to the 10. Well, that was fortunate. And he might be able to see the 5. Yes, he can use the 5 as a bailout. Well, he's looking at the 3 if he can see it as well, but he can also play the 5, and he needs to just come up past the 14 and he'll be on the 13. Well, he's going higher for the 12. He's also in the 15, so he's got choices here. He can certainly improve one situation with that 2 and 4, and he's still got the 5 as a bailout if he couldn't see the 14. And you would think that sooner or later, been given these opportunities, Snake Eye's going to build something up here. But Larry made the choice to play the more difficult cut in the 3 ball when he had a much easier shot to start him off. I think what you want to do is just get in. Admittedly, there wasn't an awful lot of choices available, but he went for the 3, and when you've made that decision, you've really got to get it. A contribution of 1 or 2's absolutely no good at all. You see how easy it can be just to lock yourself on a ball and end up with nothing, even when there's balls out in the open. It's such an easy thing to happen in straight pool. You know, on paper it looks an easy game because all you're doing is potting any ball you want, but keeping that cue ball in play is a big challenge with a minimum of movement if you can help it. Just little stuns, little screw shots is what you want to be playing. We've still got a problem, and again it's the old story, we're running out of options to deal with it. He's a bit straight in the 5 as well, so it's not fallen into place yet here. All hinges in that 11 and 1 as to his progress to the next rack. Well, I think he's got the angle now. Couldn't be any more perfect. Just to stun onto those two balls. Just needs a little gentle stun. And that'll do it, because that's also giving him a break ball. Okay, he's running up the table. He's going to have to come back down for the 7, but it's a lot better looking than what it was a minute ago. So all about the pace again. He's cutting 11. He's running off the end rail. Down the right hand side is a simple shot, and it just needs the right pace to get there. He's way short here. He's way short. He's 3 feet short of where he wanted to be. Again, what we're talking about is the minimum amount of rails that you have to use to get position onto that break ball, because that just makes the shot that much more difficult. This is not ideal. And the biggest failing is ending up straight in the 1. And he's missed a 7 because of it. He's thinking about that pace. He ended up straight anyway, so it was doomed to failure by not getting good. That's how simple things can go wrong. Dead easy to go wrong. All went wrong because he didn't get good in the 7. And Larry is back in, and the deficit once again is nowhere near what it could have been. Now Larry's got a chance to redeem himself and put something on the board. I mean, if one of them gets a run, it's going to then open the match up. Now the combo on the 13. If he runs through, he's got the 4 into the middle. It's a simple enough shot. He's looking at the 8, but that 4 goes into the middle. He's got a big area to get on the 4, and if he got on the 4 sort of squarish, again he could open up those balls. But I think that's the shot. I'd be pushing the 14 onto the 13 and running through around the corner. It has to be good though, because he might not have many more choices than the 4. He sees it a different way. He's going to go for the break off the 13, I think. Just try and get in and disturb them. This is where you just need to ride your luck. You don't want to lock on a ball. Well, he's avoided the pack. He's going to try and pick them off. Is that going to be the right move? He's looking at the line of the 7 and the 6. That's going to the jaw. Is the pace going to take it in though, if he takes that? I mean, again, if he draws back off the 11 on the rail there and draws back far enough, he's got a good shot in the 4 again. That might be the plan here, or he could just be running through for the 14. Has he gone far enough? He hasn't. And now it's getting tricky. Another 3 or 4 inches past that middle pocket towards me, and he would have been good on the 4. And now all he can do is just run through. Is he going to try and come through the other side for the 14 or the 9? I think he's going to have to, unless he's seen something I haven't. Well, I don't know what Larry tried there, but he's on the 7. And of course he's already missed one. I think it was a 3 ball he missed earlier on. And he's got to control the cue ball again, because he's only going to have the 6 ball to choose from. He's got nothing else. And once again, he's gone short. He wanted to be out here or there. And now the cue ball's got to move, and this is another one where he's going to try and come over the other side. And he's playing it with inside left, which looks as if he's trying to run into them rather than trying to come across for the 14 or the 9. Let's see how it works out. Well, I think if we'd just done that but a lot softer, he would have had a much easier shot. But it's definitely got to be the 9. That's going to nudge some balls. Cue ball. There we go. Cue ball running. Where does it end up? In the hole. It needed, I think it needed a stun more than top to get it running forward. You needed a stun, Larry. You've got to remember, you can't let the cue ball run. And it's another failure. It's only 7 and he's still trailing. That is how easy
Glory Victis.
it is to go wrong.
Larry will only fire up when he's 160 to 100 down or something.
Well, the bad news for that, for Larry, is then he ain't coming back with much. If that ends up to being the case, he's going to then push the boat out even more. And that's what happens when you end up trailing. You end up sticking your neck out to take a bit more of a risk, and you can just be picked off. But that shot that he played with the inside English to run around the corner, he played it with loads of pace to try and get into things when he should have just taken what was there and dropped nicely round for those 2 balls that were at the back. That might have been the better way to do it. Who knows, but we now know that it may well have been a better idea, because he's ended up with nothing as far as a contribution goes.
Beppo Bapone. You sound like Sean Connery Red Heart.
I don't know how many times I've been told that. Well, that's how to cheat the pockets.
Joe Smackewin. Good morning.
Joe Smackewin. Good morning, Jose. You're up early for a Spaniard. It's usually a long siesta in the morning, long siesta in the afternoon, and then bed. And the 3 ball is the break shot. I think it's okay. Yeah. Well, this is tricky, because the high angle on the 2 is just bringing this cue ball further and further up the table. Now, does he smack this in so he can come down the table and back up into play, or is he trying to baby it in? He's trying to baby it in, and I think he's just taking his medicine and slammed it in and come down the table and back up into play, because he's given Larry a free go here, and Larry might have to put a wee bit of spinner. Is he going to draw? He could chip it in. Let's see what he's got. Well, he's got an angle. Again, it needs the firm stun, and just maybe a wee bit, half a Q-tip below the equator, just to make sure the cue ball isn't going to run forward. and that's worked out pretty good. How's it working out for a shot though? It's not ideal. He's got a tested combo here, and
Jose McEwen. But not Sean Connery face LOL.
what are you trying to say, Jose? Are you trying to say I'm ugly? Well, this is a toughie. I think he's trying to squeeze this in off the one, and he's just managed to get there. That was not a gimme, that one. Oh, he's got the 9 down the rail. Well, as Stubb says, now would be the time for Larry to fire up and put something actually on the board, something worth mentioning. Well, I'm getting cold, so while Larry's here, I am going to take a leave of absence, and I'm going to get the heating on because my feet are getting cold. I'll be back in a minute.
Stevik 1158. Mick.
Right, we're back. It'll take about 15-20 minutes for the heating to kick in, but my extremities are beginning to get cold. That's how cold it is up here this morning. So Larry's still at the table, but struggling here. How does that one look? A little push.
Stevik 1158. Too tight K.
Yeah, it's a bit fiddly, but you can just catch the edge. That's going to go in all the time. That you can just catch enough of it just to drop it in. But now, of course, we're back to square one. We don't have a break ball. Not really anything ideal. So he might have to use the 7 unless he can create something. Now, if he cuts the 4, he could maybe run across into the 10. He's going for the 7 first. Let's see what he's got in mind here, because I can't work out what Larry's trying to do and what he's going to use as his break ball. Yeah, well, that's a shot. That's an excellent shot. He's got the little nudge in the 10, and the 10 is in play. It's not perfectly ideal, but it's a lot better than what it was. Had to get the little nudge to create something, get a ball into play that can at least give him a chance of a break shot. But again, this is not ideal when you're having to go, you know, 2 rails or whatever. It just makes it so much more difficult. You're always wanting an easy ball, and he's brushed the 10 further away and he's ended up straight. He is pretty straight. This has got to be full amp to try and catch that pack. I don't know whether he feels he can go forward and do it, but he's going to end up in the back of the pack that way. So it's a big amp, big stunt, and that will do it. That's all we ask. Just bring something in, something that gives me a chance to keep going. And now he can build on it. And once again, that 6 ball at the top of the pack there is a good opportunity to cut it and nudge. Is he going to be brave enough to have a go at it? Because that is one good opportunity to improve the situation there. Or is he going to get better on it from the other side? I think the problem with that shot in the 6 ball is you can't really get into the cue ball. That's the problem on it. He's too tight to the rail. Well, he's back looking at it. I think he's made his mind up. He can certainly catch something, and he should improve the situation while he's thinking about it again. I mean, the cue ball's got to hit the 12, and it's got to open 2 or 3 balls out. But he's sticking to his guns. And it could be the cut in the 1, or the 9 I should say, and run into them. Or he could go top side of the 6. He's got the opportunity to do that, but he needs to get far enough up the table. So it's either or. A little testy 3 ball. I mean, if he overcuts this, he'll get off the 14. The 14 is very adjacent to the pocket, so awkward cueing. And now there is one remaining problem, and that's that cluster of 3. Well, you include the other 2 as well, because they're not actually ideal for potting either, because we've got blocking balls. The 6 ball acts as a blocking ball. Now, once again, he's perfect in the 6. Just a little run through, just a wee bit of top, and not a lot of pace, because he just wants to break things out slightly. And he's landed on the 4, and now everything's available. However, the 4 would have been the break ball, and it's going to have to go, I'm afraid. So once again, he's going to have to think alternate means here. He's got the 15, which he can use. He's got the 8 at the back of the pack he can use. And I don't think he wants to be taking that 15. I think he wants to leave that there. That may well be the break shot. Take the 12. Take the 8. I mean, the path there is simple enough. You take the 12, you take the 8, you run through and you take the 5, and these 2 balls are open. I mean, if he takes the 15, that's a potentially good break ball gone. Is he going to leave the corner ball as a break ball, and then he's coming into the back of the pack? This is what gets you confused to how the player sees the layout and how you would see the layout for getting there. There should be a button in VP4 where the player that's played presses a button so that the viewers know what break ball is chosen, and it should pop up on the screen saying 8 ball is my break ball, and then we know exactly what's happening. Well, obviously it has to be that, because he's now taking a 12, and those 2 balls are in the triangle. So he's going to leave the cue ball high on the left or the right for this 8 ball. It's going to be the left or the right as we look here. I think that's going a bit too straight. He could have done with more. He wanted really to be here. That would have been a lot better. Oh, he's came off the back of the pack, and he's only got 1 shot. I mean, he's got a nasty cut back in the 10 if you include that, but he's got the 11. And he should get this in every day of the week. I mean, there's a big margin of error with this 11. But it's the cut back, I think. And now he's more or less back in shape. He's now got a run that's gone to 31, and he's now constructing a lead. But that 9 ball, sorry, that 1 ball has to go right now that he's on it. I mean, you pot the 1, you're on the 13, you've no problem getting on the next ball, but the 1 ball is of no value where it's sitting right now, and he's not going to get a better position on the 1 to take it. And Larry's listening, so he can take the 11 if he wants. And is he coming round behind the pack, or is he going forward and inside? Because if he does that, he's only got 1 ball really that he can get on good. I mean, if he pots the 9 and he runs over to the right side, he would have a shot at the 13. If he goes a bit further up, he would have the 4 or the 2 into the middle. It's about giving yourself better choices, or multiple choices if you can, in this situation. He's nudged into the 14. Now it's going to have to be the cut into the middle on the 2 ball. Nothing goes. And also with this shot, he's going to hit the cluster, and that should open it up. Well, he's hit the 12, and the cluster remains. Once again, with this 12 ball, he would need to put a bit of inside left if he's going to try and punch the cue ball off the short rail into the back of those just to clip them. It might be too much of an angle, and he's maybe trying to get better on this 12 to allow him to do it. He needs to get off the rail though. Well, he's left himself the high cut. That's a wee bit better. So a wee bit of inside on the left hand side of the cue ball just to catch something. Again, he's looking at it. I don't think he really fancies it, but it might be the shot that will progress him in this rack. Just watch the tip of the cue ball. Well, it looks as if he's playing it plain there to me. He's got the wee bit of inside on it now, and it doesn't need to be forced, it just needs to be chipped. Just a little pot and a little catch of anything there, and he's got to open something up. And that's what's happened. He's locked it. He's locked it. And see how easy it is to go wrong. It's amazing. It's just amazing how simple things can go wrong in this situation. He is nailed to the 6. Absolutely locked off. And the run is 37. Now where does he hide the cue ball? Because the 14 goes, he can't go, he needs to get right into the corner, but he's going to leave something. He's trying to get onto them. So difficult to do. And Larry's run ends in 37. The lead is 71 points to 48, but Snake Eyes in straight away with a chance to reduce that margin. I mean, that was just a little cluster of 3. If he'd caught an edge of any of those balls, they would have split open, no problem. But he caught it full in the face, and it just stunned stone dead on the 6. So easy for things to break down very quickly in straight pull. Excuse me. And that was a promising visit, but it just all died a death on that one shot. I mean, the pace was good. He didn't need to slam it. He just needed to let the inside English do the little check off the rail. But that full in the face hit was not what was wanted. And there is no break ball, nothing ideal. 6 ball is in the triangle as well as the 5. Now, when he pots this 5, if he gets a bit of dig in it, a little bit of draw, he could maybe just chip the 6 into play. It's worth a go. He's got to be on the 7, and he's played the little nudge, and would you believe
Semi-Pro 4.
He's gone top of the pack. There's still a chance off either of those 2 balls, but he has to get good on them to play the break. Good morning, Semi.
Stevik 1158. Morning.
Well, we're already an hour and 5 minutes into the match. It's been a slow grind so far. And well, Snake Eyes, he can pot the 6. If he can draw off it, I don't know how good the angle is to allow him to do it, but he needs to, I think he needs to try and find a way to get there or there to try and get into the pack. That'd be one way of doing it. Either or, he's got to get lucky. If he's drawing up the table, well, he's nudged into the 4. I don't think that's going to do him much good. If he's taken into the middle, the cue ball's going to be running. He can certainly make a better angle and have a better chance of hitting the pack that way. If he's going the cut into the top pocket. It's a fair bit of pace, and off that side rail. And that has worked out very nice. What's that 11 ball doing? Well, that 11 ball goes, and he's got an opportunity to nudge into them off the 11. There's plenty of room for the 11 ball to go, and he can go forward. He's not interested. Well, he's looking at it again. That would be the shot, just to brush into them. It's not really improved it that much, but he's still got a shot. I mean, if he just nudges the 8 along, he can land in the 1. If he goes through, he's on the 2. Well, he's trying to improve it again, and once again it's not worked out that great. He's got the bailout ball is there, the 2 ball. So he's had a couple of goes at improving the situation, but he's still got a troublesome cluster sitting there. He could try and do it off this as well. It's another risk when you're starting to let the cue ball run. And that is it. Everything's in the open. So he's in good shape now. Nothing else needs to move. In fact, that 5 and 9 are a pretty good combo anyway, so there's no worry there.
Have I missed much?
Not a lot. Larry's biggest contribution you just missed, but it gave him that lead. But the lead is going to diminish after this visit. I think there's been nothing substantial. I think what was it, 38 or something Larry got, or thereabouts. Not much more. And Snake Eyes, oh, he's already made a couple of mistakes. It's been a cold start, both outside as well as in this room. Well, if you'd been watching this from the start, Semi, I wouldn't be losing any sleep over the standard that these two players are managing to get to so far. So it's going to be the combo. Now what have we got as a break ball? The 7. That might be it. So trailing by 9, 14 is the run so far, and every ball available. 6 ball could be the break shot as well, so he's still got a choice, but pretty soon he's going to be committed one way or the other. So Bedhead has arranged his one lost side match. That's the one that I think I mentioned earlier on, but I was probably muted again. Bedhead's match I won't be able to stream. It's been set against who the hell's he playing? Is it Chris or somebody? It's set for 9 PM in a couple of days' time on the deadline day. Sorry, no, that's the deadline day for the third round, I think, or the second round. And Keith and Cobra still haven't set their match, so they're running short of time, and they might not be able to get that either, depending on what time of day they choose. So here we go. It's looking like the 7, and it's another not ideal shot to get good in the 7, because he's ended up pretty straight in the 6. He has to go far enough, and that is a bit straight. And again, it's get the amp on and get that stun, but don't miss the pot. And he's already done that once and smashed him all over the place. Yeah, well, it was too straight when he's going to scratch, and that's probably the safest shot he could have done there. That's the best outcome. The run ends in 19, he's still 4 behind, and Larry just looking for the safety. Straight onto the head of the pack. No ball gets to a rail, so he loses a point, but the most important thing is he's not left anything. That's the ideal safety as far as that goes. You can take the hit with just a 1 point, but the most important thing of all is you don't leave anything out. So now it gets a bit dicey, because Snake Eyes has played the deliberate foul. Larry's on 1 foul, Snake Eyes on 1 foul, and Larry looking to get a ball to a rail, but can he see enough of that 10 to be able to do it and keep it safe? I think he can. I think the worry though would be the 14. Yeah, that would be the worry, and also squirting out and leaving the 7 on. So this is tricky for Larry. Larry's just trying to not move anything and trying to get right over to the right, and he's fallen short. Now is Snake Eyes going to take the bait? I think he will, because Larry wanted that cue ball in there. That's where he wanted to be, to make it as difficult as possible. So the 7 has been called, and this will spread them. What's he got? Well, he's got a 13 into the middle, because there's nothing down here, although he's got a cut along the rail for the 5, but the 13 would be fine, and just a little roll through and he'll be on the 14. If he stuns it in, he'll be stunning up for the 6. Well, I don't know what the hell he was doing there. I think a simple roll through would have done the trick. I mean, he's got the cut on the 5, and he'll be back up the table. Once again, if he goes short, he can take the 6. If he goes longer, he should expose the 14 within that gap. Well, he's still got the 14. He's got the 2 also, which has to be played carefully, because this is one way you can run straight off the 11 and follow the 2 in. Got to be careful with this. You don't want to get too aggressive, but there's an awful lot of balls in there, and it's not going to be that easy to make sure you get on one from this shot. And that little nudge has given him good position in the 4. Little stun. Yeah, there's work to do here. It's all a bit messy at the back of the pack. but it takes Snake Eyes into the lead, 1 point in the lead. Let's have a look at that. Now there's no combo there really, so he wants to try and move something. He can do it with this, a little bit of inside and punch it, just try and create something, and that'll still keep him in play. And now he can just do a little stunt and get rid of one of those two balls that we're looking at, whatever it is, the 11 and the, what one's that, the 12. And the one ball is a good break shot, so that's the one to avoid. Keep well away from it. Now can he draw back off this? No, he can't, because he's got nothing. He's looking to leave the combo, I think. Yep, it's going to be the 8 ball. So the 9, the 15 and the 10 is the order of play. I think he's ended up dead straight. Yep, so it's a little draw to the rail. And he needs to have some angle of any description on that 10 ball. He's going to draw back, but he wants an angle. He doesn't want it straight, anything but straight. And that is perfect, because he can run the cue ball off the rail and get that out into the table. And ideally he wants to be the parallel line up the table with that one ball if he can. Oh dear, goodness me, I think he's totally taken his eye off the ball altogether there. So much focus in getting a good line, because I think the line would have more or less taken care of itself, but he's missed the 10 ball by a country mile, and the contribution is 13 and the lead is 9, and Larry's got out of jail again there. And he's still got the break shot, and Larry has found the line. That is pretty much it. Maybe he's gone a wee bit too far, but he's definitely going to catch those 2 corner balls. But can he pot the one? And that will do. Everything almost in the open. If he can take that 6 ball where he is right now, that would clear one problem, and that's ideal. That's landed very nice for Larry. That 6 ball is a blocking ball, so it goes. The 2 and the 11 don't need to move, because they both go, or at least the 11 certainly does, without any problem. So it's just about taking his time, studying the layout, and choosing those 2 or 3 balls that are going to get him moving. At some point or other, he should have the opportunity to drop down onto the 11 and take care of it. He doesn't need to worry about it quite right now. Well, Larry wants to be at least in 3 figures after this visit. He wants to build that lead again. He's built the lead and then he saw it go, and now he's trailing, and that's taking care of the 11 ball problem. So now what we have to look at is what he's going to leave as the break shot, and I think that one is the obvious one. That would be one. I mean, he's got emergency backup, he's got the 13, we've got these here that have to go, and also the 7 and the 2 at the back of the pack. So the ones with the, well, the one that was the red line on that side is gone, and the 13's going to go. So Larry's already made his choice. It's pretty much going to be the 14. And he's also, as he dead straight in this 2, no, he's got the angle to drop across behind the 7, get rid of it, because that's also a blocking ball, and the pace is good and he'll be able to take care of that. So he's doing this the right way, or at least I'm not disagreeing with what he's doing so far, but he needs to get rid of the 7. It's just blocking the 12. And if he goes forward and around the other side off the 2 rails, he should probably land on the 12 here. It looks, what's he doing here? He's got a bit of bottom right on this. He looks as if he's going to drop the 5 into the middle and then land in the 12. It's the 12 that's the issue, not a major problem because he can land good on it. Now, if the angle's good, he can stun and leave the 8 and get rid of it, or run off the rail and come out for the 8. It looks like he may well be leaving the 9 as a shot up table to get good on the 14. Well, he wanted to run through a wee bit more there. He's stunned that more. He's left a wee bit more angle, but it shouldn't be an issue. So it's all about getting on the 15 now, unless he wants to fall back in that as an emergency second last ball, because I think he's probably want to leave the 9. Now, the angle he's got in the 15, if he's going to run forward, it's off the end rail, and it's whether he dare put anything on it. He's putting a bit of inside to check it back up towards the 9 to straighten it, because ideally he wants to be fairly straight on this 9, and now he's got a lot more angle than he would like. So what he's going to do is just gently roll it in, I think, so that he can get the cue ball out to leave him that angle. He doesn't need to put much on this. Again, that is maybe a wee bit more than he needed, but he's okay. Better to be safe than sorry. And it now looks ideal from this end. So again, the pot is the one to worry about. The rest of the shot is going to happen. A good firm stun. He doesn't want to lock up. And that stun and that dead wall of balls have just pushed the cue ball out into play, and that's worked out very nice. He's back in business. The run goes to 16, but the more important thing is he's back in the lead. Well, a welcome to any latecomers who are scared to speak, but I'm guessing that there only is about 4 people watching at this time of the day. But we're now an hour and 27 minutes into this match. And Larry already has a break ball in place, although there's a chance it might well be disturbed. But that 2 ball sitting there right in that line of the 5, the 12 and the 10 is in a good place, and the 5 and the 12, well, they could be a problem. Larry could deal with a 5 right now off this 1 ball. How does that look? Yeah, he could play and have the 15 as a bailout, but he could deal with a 5 if he wants. I mean, that is an easy enough shot, the 5. But he's left it. Now, is he going to get another chance to get that 5 out of the way?
Power. These noobs haven't hit 100 points each in 1/12 hours though, K.
I wonder if he'll regret not taking that 5 ball when he had the chance.
Glory Victis. Strange shot choice there.
Well, if he'd gone high in the 6, he could have dealt with the problem as well. In fact, the 6 doesn't go, so forget that idea.
Semi-Pro 4. Stub, you haven't hit 100 either. It's not that CC.
Now, the problem for Larry now is that the chances are he's going to disturb his break ball, which is what he doesn't want to do, by trying to eventually get some movement here with these 3 balls. He had the chance to get rid of the 5. That was at least one problem that was going to be out of the way. These other 2 balls, if the 2 goes out of the way, that's what he's taking. He's taking his break shot and he's going to try and improve the situation off the break ball. And that has worked out very nice. He'll settle for that because everything's open, and all of a sudden the rack takes on a different frame of mind because the 6 ball is well in play. And how does he get there though? 12 ball in the middle of the pack. You've got the, what's, I think is that the 13 in the right rail? Yeah, that's the 13 down this right rail, 5 in the left side, 10 at the back of the pack, and the 12 ball in the middle. So he's got to draw off this 13 and get rid of the 12. Well, he's played a draggy shot there again. I don't know for what reason. He's obviously played for the 10, but he's pretty straight, so he's going to have to pinch a wee bit of angle here. And that 12 ball still remains there. He's got to take the 12 now, so it looks as if he's just going to roll through. He's playing. He can take the 12 into the middle. I don't know why he's trying to go up the table. He looks as if he's spinning to go up the table. Why not just roll the 10 in and roll the 12 into the middle? And he's going to run into his break ball, and all of a sudden what was promising is now taking a funny shape here. It's going to be the 5. Why he didn't just roll that in and take the 12 into the middle, I don't know. Because to me, no matter what game it is you're playing, it's the simplest shot that very often is the best one, just to keep you in play and give you a lot less work to do. But if he can't get there in these next 2 shots, then it's a failure, and it's all because of, well, certain ways of getting to certain shots that have not been ideal. So he's now fairly straight on the 6. If he's going to go forward, it's all around the angles, but he's playing the draw and he's got to leave that good angle. Well, that'll do. And Bill has woken up. A cue ball skimming off the top of the pack, and he has a shot. So he's got there eventually. The run goes to 30, and how important is this contribution going to be for Larry? It takes him to triple figures. He leads by 21. He's got to build on it. Now, is there anything in this bunch that goes? No, there isn't. So, once again, we need a hit of one way or another. And again, it's gone too straight. If he had just left short, I mean, anywhere there on this 6 ball would have been fine, because he was then going into them. He's now gone pretty straight. He can go.
Bill. Good morning.
He can go around the corner, I think. Let's have a look. No, he can't do that either, because he's dead straight. Good morning, Bill. I've got the heating on for you because it was cold in here. My feet were getting cold, my hands were getting cold, so I put the heating on, so it should be warmed up nicely for you now. And this is the shot to get the break and open them up. Full focus on the pot, because the cue ball does the rest. You don't worry about the cue ball as much. You're just more focused on making sure that you've got that line on the pot. Oh, where's this 9 going? And he's okay. He can see the 13. He can, if he's forced into it, he's got a dodgy looking 3 ball, but it's going to be the 13. Now, top side of the 9, if he wants, he can use the 7 to nudge, or again he can do it the other way. He can take the 12, he can pick off the 3, but there's really got to be some movement here. He might have another chance off this 6 ball to follow if he gets the angle, just to well, the way it is now,
Master
he doesn't
power.
need to move anything.
Nuclear fire is
just
coming
picks them
for
off.
all asses K.
Now he's drawing back for the 7, or if he goes too far, the 12, if that's a 12 ball. And now he can go forward off the 7 and get rid of the 14, but the problem with that is the 7 ball is just at the corner of the pack. He may well be wanting to leave that, but I think that could create a problem with this 14 ball. That's an issue. He's maybe going to have to bite the bullet here. Well, if it's the cut, he may well try and run into something. No, he sees it a different way. This is just getting a bit dicey. It's on a bit of a knife edge as to whether he's going to be able to progress here the way these are sitting. The run goes to 40. Well, that's now taking care of the 14, and so it's going to be the 7, no doubt about that. And he should be good on the 7. He's not got a lot to do here with the cue ball. It's all about just the pace being right and not going too far. He wants to keep that parallel line up and down the table with the 7 if he can. He might, I mean this, let's see where the pack ends up when it's replaced. Yeah. There's a gap there, but he should be able to catch the corner.
Semi-Pro 4. Larry's high break so far cool, keep going.
Well, he's got the break and he's got balls in play, and now he has a chance to build up a decent innings here and stretch away from Snake Eyes, and in doing that it then puts the pressure on. The ball will be in Snake Eyes court if he gets back to the table, but Larry's got a big problem to deal with there, that 4 ball, and he can roll through in the 6 and try and get on the 4 if he wants, but you don't want to be leaving it there too long. As soon as you can get good on that 4, you need to take it out. And of course, with having these balls up the table, this is always where you're playing 2 different games. You're playing a game of straight field, but you've got 2 different setups here to deal with. You don't want that. He's not got an ideal break ball. The 9 ball, if that's the 9, may well do, but he's looking at it to run across into those 3, and he's created a break ball. That's a good shot. Well, it's right at the corner of the pack again, and we know that the corner of the actual pack, once the balls are placed, the line of balls is like there, not where the triangle ends down at the bottom. It's like that. So that 2 ball might be passable as a break ball, but I'm worried about that 4 ball. That has to be a priority. He has to be dealing with that. It could be, and now again, thinking ahead, this is where you're trying to think what the player's thinking about here. He's going to have to get very good on that 4 ball if he's intended to leave that as his last shot to get on the 2. I don't like that idea. He's still got these choice of balls down table, but obviously they have to go. So he's working both ends of the table here, and you don't want to have to do that. Well, that would have been good had he got good on the 14, the 15. He could have run into the 4 to just nudge it. He's just he's got the wrong angle. But like I say, we're running out of balls here, Larry. The alarm bell should be ringing. We're running out of balls to deal with that 4. It goes right on the top of my priority list, that 4 ball, as soon as I looked at the table. And all the time Larry's busying himself down here. He's got a break ball in place, but he has to get that. He's going to take the 10 to get the chip, and the 4 he could get the double kiss again and end up nowhere and in the same position. The pot's not difficult, it's just relying on a wee bit of luck that he doesn't just get a solid double kiss. Well, that's brought it into play, but look what he's done. He's missed the bloody 10. Unbelievable.
Semi-Pro 4.
And the run
Players
goes
are
to
how work
49.
on areas and that forces less work on white Val.
Well, that is a big failing there, Larry. It's a run of 49. It's his higher run in the tournament, but he should have took the 4 on the rail when he had the chance. It's all very well in hindsight, but I'll tell you, to take that cut in the 10 and to miss the cut in the 10, I mean, that is not it's not a difficult shot, that 10 ball cut. But to miss it, and then of course bring the 4 into play, is a big failure. And in the end, commentator's eye, the tactical genius called it. You've got to deal with the 4, and you've got to deal with it as soon as possible. As soon as you get a sniff of getting near it and getting good on it, you need to get rid of it, because you may well pay the price. And Larry's paid it big time there. How much pain is Larry going to suffer, and how much pressure is Snake Eyes going to handle, because he's got to get rid of that deficit. But this match could turn on that shot. Larry could have played his last shot. That's how severe the punishment could end up being. And I just hope he does not suffer the consequences for his sake. I don't know whether you agree with me, but it was staring you in the face. You cannot work both ends of the table. You have to make a decision and deal with 4 and 5 balls that's up the top end, so that you can then concentrate. Larry was concentrating in the bottom end, and he got a break ball and left the 4 ball too late. It should have been dealt with right at the beginning when he had the chance to deal with it. He chose not to, and in the end he's paid the price because of it. So the immediate goal here for Snake Eyes is
Semi-Pro 4. K in areas.
Is to deal with, well, I think he's going to deal with his break ball. I'm assuming he was looking at, is he going to leave the 11? Sorry, not the 11, 13. No, he can't leave the 13 because it's in the pack. So the break ball's gone, and both of these balls are effectively in the pack as far as I can see. Certainly the 14 is, and the 13 is encroaching in the line. So I don't know whether that was the best way to go about it for Snake Eyes.
Pro 4. 13 is okay.
You think so? I think it's pretty tight. And of course, this is the other theory I've got as well, is when you have a ball that is tight to the pack, and you don't know whether it's in or out.
Morning.
The other problem now is he's having to run this cue ball to try and get good on this 13, and the margin of error is a lot finer to get good.
A with diaresis nabicamifmus.
And look what's happened.
SPRMs and VURS on ****, bigfollows.com.
He's scratched. Would you believe it? And again, I still think the Snake Eyes went about that entirely the wrong way. I think the 2 ball, why he took it, I don't understand. And it's a failing because he only gets 6. Now Larry is going to nudge 1 ball either way. How well is it going to be? He's going to have to, I think he's just going to have to get lucky here.
Pro 4. Hey Rich.
Good morning. That bot, that's them come and gone. We won't hear them again. Well, he's locked into the pack, so all he's got is the safety. Well, that one ball just got to the rail, but has he left the 13? Yes, he has, but there's not going to be much on here for Snake Eyes. Well, he's trying loads of inside to, again, the pace that he has to play this at to get to the pack, it's whether the inside will work quick enough to do it. Yep, has he got anything? Well, he's got a shot on the 10, and it's going to be awkward. And he needs to be careful. If he runs through, he's going to go near that middle pocket. He's got the 8, it's another awkward one. The 8 ball wipes its feet, but the pace took it in. And he's got a chance off the 4 or the 6 to break the pack. Yeah, I think he's got the chance with the cut and the 6 right now to do that. I mean, that would spread them all over the place. The 6 ball goes. Well, again, I think he could have been a bit braver with the 6 ball, because that would have improved the situation probably a lot better. He's going to have another chance off the 7. Question as well though is how brave do you want to get when you're still trailing? He wants to focus on getting rid of that deficit. Surely he's, the only one he's got here is an awkward cut in the 11 and an awkward shot in the 7. He needs to watch, he needs to be careful with that 7 ball. That's not going. That's not going at all. And that is only a visit of 4. And Larry can build again. And if Larry can just run through and brush off the 1 and get up the table for that 3, that takes care of the problem, because that would be the shot just to nudge those 4 balls. It's how good he comes off this 1 ball, because I think he's going to chip the 1. Let's have a look. Nope, he's looking to just roll the 10 in. He's got a combo. That will certainly improve it. I never even looked at that, so that will do. Now, what's he done here? You can see the 12. He's okay.
Semi-Pro 4. Quite surprising how balls have been missed that seem quite straightforward.
Well, he used all the pocket there with that one. Again, the pace is what took it in. So there's 1 remaining problem, and that's definitely the 2 and the 3. And he's got to, again, if he can get an angle on the 9, I don't think he's got enough. Had he got a higher angle on the 9, he would have been able, he's maybe going to try and still do this, punch this in. He'll be on the 1 ball unless he locks up behind the 3. If he hits the 2, nope. Is he getting behind the 2? Well, he's running out of options again here, Larry, very quickly to deal with this situation. That's uncomfortably tight, that 2-ball. He's not interested. And is he going to go high enough this time in the 14? Yes, he has done, but it leaves him the 13 as a break ball. So he's going to have to dig into this just to stun and catch them, and needs to watch the tip of the cue ball. And now he's back in business. He's got 1 ball up the table. So it's going to be the 7, I presume, to come across for this 11 ball. So ideally, if he can get there like that, he'll have a break shot. It needs to bounce. Is he coming too far up the table? Let's have a look. Nope, that will do. Going to catch the pack on those last 2 balls. And that's broke very nice. He gets a bonus ball in the break, and he's got balls on, and the lead is stretching. The run is 12, but he's building up almost a 50-point lead here, and that now is stacking the pressure on Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes' last visit was what, 3 or something, which ain't going to cut it, and he knows that should he get another chance, he's going to have to produce. We've seen a couple of players do it in the tournament when the chips are down and they get one last chance and they've managed to pinch the match. I don't know how the angle is in the 15 to stun into the 7 and the 6. But again, he's too close to the rail. That's the problem with that shot. Well, I don't think, can he see enough of the 4 to pot it? Because if he can do that, that opens up the 7. Maybe it's too tight for comfort's sake. The shot would be to draw off the 10 and go higher for that 4 ball, or roll through off the 5. So that looks like what he's got in mind. And he might create a couple of break balls here if he gets lucky. Well, he sent the 14 off the rail back into the bunch or into the pack, and there's not anything that's really ideal. There's a 9 to work with, again from the sort of parallel line side, like that there, or just inside to catch the pack. There's still an opportunity off the 14. He's still got the 1 up the table. Now the 1 up the table would be a good ball to get on the 9, because it means it's a lot easier. Can he see enough of the 3? Yes, he can. So he's got to get around and up or across to the right hand side to get rid of the 6. But in doing that, he's nudged the 9 out of the game. So now it's going to be the 14, I would say. You always get to this crisis point in each rack where if it's working out for you, everything's going fine, or it's going the other way where you're running out of balls to get good. And this is on a knife edge as far as whether Larry's going to be able to progress. So it looks like the 9 and the 1 to find the line for this 14 ball. Larry on 143, Snake Eyes on 89, and this is a shot again, anything but straight. He needs an angle. Oh, and that's too straight, I think. Let's have a look. Well, he's got a slight angle, so once again it's a big firm stun. But is there going to be enough momentum to do enough damage and not lock the cue ball up here? Yep, and he's missed a 14, and that's where it goes wrong. Far too straight, trying to slam
Chris
it in.
Plays Live. Henlo Crisp 95 Tech 1.
And he's missed the 14. And he hasn't left anything, particularly easy. The 14 does go past the 7. Good morning. But Larry's visit ends on 24, and it's a lifeline for Snake Eyes. Now, can he produce? Because he's at the stage now where he has to get back into this match.
Charles at 50. Semi's skills on break balls is way ahead of the pack.
Well, it is about leaving that easy second last ball to make your shot to get on the break ball so much more simpler, so the cue ball's not having to move or having to run off a rail and run across to find a line. If you can get those last 2 balls much more simpler, your life's an awful lot easier in straight pool. And Semi's certainly been doing that. That's why he's been more consistent. He's constructed more runs than most players as well, and also why he's got the high run. But this is an important visit for Snake Eyes in the context of this match, because if he fails here and Larry gets in and puts another 20-30 on the board, then the match might well be beyond him. But if he can get to triple figures, that's the first goal, get to 3 figures, then the scoreboard doesn't look quite as bad. But of course he's got this cluster that he's tried to get into, and he's got a hit, and he's freed at least one. The 6 at the back goes, the 4's on. But he's still going to have to nudge something. So we are now right on the nail for 2 hours. We started at 8 o'clock this morning, this match, and well, we might be here another half an hour or more, depending how things go. We'll have a chance now to improve the situation. And Snake Eyes,
Chris Plays Live.
well, it's all
One
gone.
match since 8.
It's all gone wrong. He's got no shot, and there again, perfect example of how simple it is to get yourself out of shape. He's trying to convince himself he can see the 15, but that ain't happening. And the visit is only going to be 8. And there's no way I think he can keep this safe. He's going for the, well, does he fancy the heave-ho, blast the 10 and try and cut it? Has he looked at that? because that looks nigh on impossible to me, but it might be his best bet. He could scratch in the middle, but if he gets that thin and gives it the old, well, he's trying the bank. That's the called shot, and he's nowhere near it. So that is a big disappointment for Snake Eyes, and a relief for Larry. And Larry now can take advantage. Yeah, this match is a race to 200. It started at 8 AM GMT, and it's now 2 hours and 3 minutes old. Well, everything here for Larry's a bonus. Well, the one good thing for Larry is that his high run has improved
Chris
by
Blaze
about
live.
5 or
So
6
you're
shots.
2 hours into the stream. They already played when you started laughing, smiley.
No, I was here and I was in the room plenty of time when they started. I was in the room before they both arrived. Now, well, the 9 ball will be the break ball, but is he going to be nudging it and pushing the 2 towards it with this shot? And now, the vital one. Again, this is not ideal to get good on the 9, having to come across the table. Gone a wee bit too far, just a wee bit too far. Still got the shot though. And that has worked out a dream. Everything is on, and this is a really good chance to put this match beyond Snake Eyes, or at least leave it a tall order for him to come to the table with maybe one last chance where he simply has to run out. He'll have no option. Larry will be probably fairly close to the finishing line by the time Snake Eyes does get back to the table, if he does, and it'll be maybe too tall an order for him to respond. So this 6
Chris
ball.
Blaze live. I like that people are still playing this. Shooter's pool is nice too, both with its pros and cons for me.
Well, he's
neck to
landed
neck,
on the
basically
12, so
winking smiley.
he could have taken the 6 and dealt with that and got up onto the 12. That's one shot. I mean, if he plays for that off the 6 and he doesn't get good in the 12, he's still got options. So there's straight away an opportunity to get rid of the 12 that way. And Larry's listening. For once, Larry's listening.
Jarzad 50. Shooter's pool is way too clunky.
And that's got rid of the problem ball. So now he can focus on dealing with those up the table, which he really should be now. He's got a break ball. The 2 ball is in prime position. Is his intention in leaving the 7 ball as the second last shot? Because if so, he's still got the 2 on the side rail to get away. He's going to take the 3, could take the 1 into the right middle, could run through for the 4 or the 5. Well, he's gone up table. Again, could get rid of the 1 and could get behind the 4 and 5, but he looks to be tidying up the top end. Well, the one ball still sitting on the point of the triangle. And he's going to probably get rid of the one now. He doesn't want to leave sort of dicey cuts on the 7 ball. But it'll be the 1, the 7, the 4 and the 5, or maybe the 1. And has he got a... How's he got? Well, he needs to come far enough. Well, that's probably made his mind up. I'm assuming he might have
Chris Blade
played
Live.
for the 7 or tried to go on the 4.
I never tried out for a tournament though.
So the 7 ball's now gone. Had he gone higher, he could have got rid of the 4. And now he's got a trickier shot. Little draw stun off the rail and not too far. Well, Larry's chickened out there big time. I blame the mouse again. Well, he's got to just skim off the 2 and run in behind the pack here. He shouldn't be taking any crazy risks. He's got to just drop in behind the pack.
Jarzad 50. Trackball special.
He's got a ball to a rail, but that shot that Larry had there, he just didn't go through with it. And it's shots like that that are so difficult to judge, especially using a trackball mouse. I found it impossible to work with. But Larry's got a lead. The visit was what was it, 20, and he's 165 to 97, so 68 points behind for Snake Eyes. He's pushed the boat out for the cut in the 6, or did he play the safety? We'll never know, but Larry's got a cut here.
Glorivictis. Snakey doesn't look the same player today.
Well, he's now at the point of no return. Larry's called the bank, and it goes. And I think he can see enough of the 13. Yeah, Snake Eyes knows now that he is at the point of no return. He has to make a substantial contribution. And Larry's doing the right thing. He's not taking the risk. That was a sensible shot.
Jarzad 50.
You don't want to
Morning
give...
Sissex.
You just don't want to give your opponent any encouragement in this situation. You've got a healthy lead. You want to keep things tight, and like this shot here, you want to let him make mistakes. Now Larry has certainly got the invitation with the 7. He's going to run into the pack, and this could be the shot that may well win him the match if this turns out good and he can build on it. He's just run into the 4, but he's still got a shot. Now if he can take that 10 or 12, whatever it is, no, he's dead straight. He doesn't want to be risking anything there, just a little brush and then probably take the 8 ball. This is not the time to be trying anything elaborate. You pot the 12, brush the pack and leave yourself in the 8. But if you take the 8, you're going for the 4. And the straighter this goes, the more awkward it becomes, because now he's going to have to finish low. He knows he has to finish low on the 12 or this run is going to end abruptly. So he needs to get to here with the cue ball. Doesn't want to be here, he wants to be here, and that way he can continue, he can break them open. And look where he's ended up, dead straight. I mean if he overhits it and he ends up there, he's still going to have a shot. And Larry's just taken his own bait there. He's put loads of top on it, trying to create something out of nothing, and he's scratched. And I'll tell you what, he does not want to be regretting that shot at the end of the night or the end of the morning, because I mean this could end up a nightmare. It could be a serious nightmare here if Snake Eyes gets his act together, and there's no better time than right now on 97. And Larry's taking a big risk when he didn't need to. I think he saw the finishing line there long before he should have. You've got to keep it tight and not take risks when you've built up that lead. He's maybe thinking Snake Eyes can't produce the goods. I'll tell you what though, he won't want to be sitting in half an hour's time or so regretting that shot he played there. And okay, Snake Eyes is not sitting nice here, and the prospects don't look good, as it needs to bounce higher, and I don't think he's got anything. Well, can he see enough of the 15? If he can, that's a bonus and a half. And well, can he see enough of that 15? I'm not convinced he can. It's very, very tight.
Chris plays live.
Yeah, he's had a blast.
Me neither.
Well, he almost fluked to 15 in the end, but Larry can breathe a sigh of relief.
Chris plays live. Saw that coming.
And so Larry can now just pick off these balls. He might try and run along the rail and brush into the 13. Well, he didn't. I thought he might have done it. If he had the angle to do it, he surely would have. He could end up leaving the 2 and the 13 as a combo, but they're not ideal. So Larry is 31 points away. Snake Eyes still not got to 3 figures. That could have been his last shot, for all we know. And this match is now over 2¼ hours.
Semi-Pro 4. I should start a straight coaching sessions. I could earn loads laughing smiley.
Well, you're not going to earn much in V dollars because that's all they'll be offering to pay you, semi-pro. You won't be getting cold hard cash. Let's just say that. Well, Larry is now again running out of options here. And I think he's tried to get right over to try and leave that combo. He hasn't gone far enough though. He might just roll straight up to the 2 and leave it awkward. If he just rolls straight up to the 2, well,
Master Power.
He's gone for it and he's got it.
That's not gonna save you though, Semi-K.
I think you're the least of his worries, Stub. Well, I haven't had anything to eat. I've just come straight out of bed and straight into the VP4 lobby, so I need food.
If we win our matches, Semi-I'll give you a free lesson in the next round. Face with tongue sticking out.
That sounds like the name of a character out of Dances with Wolves.
Master Power. We'll save some others to improve though.
That would be a good name.
Semi-Pro 4. You be out before we play Stub, lol.
Dances with Wolves has been on about 5 times over Christmas and New Year, and it was on yesterday again. But that would be a brilliant name for one of the tribe. Face with smiley face, tongue sticking out. Instead of stands with a fist.
Jarzad 50. LOL.
Tatanka. Buffalo. Well, Larry is 21 points away and in a spot of bother here.
Semi-Pro 4. Have to get past Mooncake first and he can be dangerous.
Yeah, don't take anybody lightly. And goes the 12 on the 8. Well, that now's the time to maybe try and pinch and just draw into these. Well, he hasn't got them enough. And now he's in no man's land in between, but the shot to play is the 6. Odds on certainty is going to improve the situation here. So Larry can see the finishing line now. He's just coming around the crown of the bend with 2 furlongs to go. And I think he's still got a ball. He's still got the 11. He's got an easy combo along the rail. Or in fact, I think he can get to the 5, can he? Maybe not, so he's going to have to play the combo. Or is he convinced he can get to that 5? Maybe my eyes are so bad. Well, I doubt he can. He's just trying to cheat it in, or is he lining up the combo? Yes, he's lining up the combo. Just a gentle pace and it's going to go in. Now he's back in shape because he's also got a choice of break balls here. He's going to have to get rid of something. And he grows ever closer to the finishing line. And we'll have a look at the bracket at the end of this, just as a reminder of what's happening later on today. We've got another couple of matches lined up. So Larry needs to get around the table here and up to the middle pockets, or the middle pocket on the right hand side. And that is perfect, I think. Almost perfect, just to get there. Now he's left it short. And the 4 ball is sitting ideal. So it's a little draw up the table, or is he going to run off the rail? Well, the 4 ball's definitely going to go, so that's the good break ball going. He's just 12 away, so obviously needs another rack. Well, he's pushing the boat out again. An awkward cut in a 7 when he doesn't really need to. He just needs to protect his lead, but he's going all out for it. Wants to get the match done, and now he's got a reasonable line in this 13 to sit pretty there. He's got it parallel now. That's ideal. That's what I'm talking about, the parallel line up and down the table between the break ball and the cue ball, and that's right on the corner. And this to win the match, basically. 10 away. Cue ball, well controlled little screw shot off the rail and into the table. And well, he's got the 10, and if he just rolls through, he's got the 2 or the 5. Is he just taking his time and looking here? In fact, has he got a combo there as well? I don't know. Don't think so. And if he had any sort of angle on the 2, he could have just nudged into a couple of balls. I think he's dead straight though. But he can just roll through and get rid of the 11, the 12 and the 6 if he wants. So 7 away, and there's only really, well, easily 4 balls in the open, so he's going to have to just get something else from somewhere. If we look at the 15 and the 7, they're not going. That's not set. So 6 more balls. Has he been able to get an angle on the 11 off the 6? Or is he going to risk it now? Because he knows he needs one or 2 more of these balls. Well, that's freed up the 15 and the 7, and he's now 5 away. He's looking to see if anything there's a combo. I'm not convinced as much. He could take the risk again. The 3, I think, goes. Does it? Let's have a look. He's going to try and break them off the 15, but that 3 goes. So if he can get a good angle on the 3, he doesn't need to be taking risks. And he'll have a chance now off this 1 at the back of the pack. That's 1. He needs 4 more balls. So he'll have 1, 2, 3 and the 3 at the top of the pack to work with, so he doesn't need to disturb them now. The run is 29. So 6 ball, 5 ball. If he gets a good angle, well, he's dead straight, so he's just going to leave the cut. And this for the match. And Snake Eyes couldn't get going. He couldn't divvy up the big run that he got in his first match, and it's all been pretty slow going this match. It's an hour and 26, 2 hours 26 minutes old, and Larry is over the line, and he wins by 200 points to 99.
4. WD Larry.
So let's have a look at the bracket, and we'll see that from top to bottom we'll go on the winner's side. We've got the match between Larry and Snake Eyes about to update. That will update in a second. And the bad news for Larry is He's up against Albinario. And that is going to be a tough ask for Larry. He's going to have to overcome one of the big hurdles in Virtual Pool 4. And I think Albinario will be the favourite, but it could end up close. We know what factors can play a big part in straight pool. Sometimes it's just sheer luck. But it'll be a match worth watching. We've got the match between Keith and Cobra, where they're running out of days to get it played. We've got Stub Through waiting on the winner of them. And further down we've got Bankster and Hazard. They're set to play at 5 PM tonight. Now, the main concern I've got with this match is the length of time it might take. Bear in mind the length of time that Larry and Snake Eyes is taking, because the reason I'm saying that is I've got to be in bed at 8:30, and that match is going to possibly run well beyond the 2 hours. It could potentially. And having said that, when we look at the one loss side, we've got the Chris Bedhead match, which I won't be able to get because that is on January the 4th at 9 PM. That's way too late for me. And then further down we have Mr. Fox against LS3, race to 150 in the one loss side, and that is later tonight at 7 PM.
I Moon next sat.
And Mr. Bill against Chiku is going to be at 1 PM this afternoon. That's a match that's appeared out of the blue. I didn't notice that one. So that's going to overlap. What the hell, there's that many matches going on, isn't there? Or there is now. So the first match is the match between Bill and Chiku, I think, if I'm reading that right. 1 PM today, and further across the next match is at 5 PM. So the Bankster Hazard match, we've got Semi-Pro and Mooncake set, but that's for January the 9th, so that's a fair bit away. So the next match will be Mr. Bill and Chiku later on, and then we'll see how the rest of the day goes. So until then, guys, I'm going to go get breakfast, get a cup of tea, something to eat, and I'll be back later on. So in the meantime, thank you for your company, thanks for joining, and I'll see you again later on.